Speaking of our future, some of you know Rowie, my delicious almost 3-year-old. Well, he came to me a few days ago with what he called a great idea. Smiling from ear to ear, he explained that from now on, my husband and I should take turns going to work. Only when the working person returned home would the other parent then leave and go to work. And that way, one of us would always be with him. I looked into his precious face and I said, "That is a beautiful idea." And he exclaimed, "Yeah, I know!" He hugged me and ran off. And as he left to go share the idea with his father, I returned to the task of getting ready for work. Now with a heart partly breaking. Let me tell you, my son is well cared for in our absence. He has loving caregivers who offer creative and musical play, outdoor adventures, delicious food, everything he could possibly want or imagine. And to a large extent, he has such fantastic educational and entertaining opportunities because of the combined salary of his 2 working parents. Otherwise, who knows if we'd be able to offer such things. I also know his happy home environment is at least partly due to the fact that both his parents are fulfilled by the work they do. Even though I know all of this, I had a moment of pause. Parenting is filled with contemplating, decision-making, and a lot of overthinking. There are lots of ways to raise a child and a great number of people who want to tell you you're doing it wrong. But what I've come to believe, both as a mother and a rabbi, is that parenting, just like everything important in life, is ultimately less about the choice made and more about the values that guide the decision-making process. What do you value most? The question is important for those who are not parents as well. It's for people of all ages and stages of life who have numerous demands on our attention and time. How do we wade through a pool of priorities and competing interests and determine what sits on top? In this week's double Torah portion, at the end of the book of Numbers, 2 tribes request that when the community enters the promised land, they be able to remain outside of it and settle on the east bank of the Jordan River. While speaking with Moses, they note that they will build enclosures for their cattle and cities for their families. While Moses does grant them permission to settle where they'd like, he insists that they reverse their priorities a bit, and he demands, "Build your cities for your children and folds for your sheep." What he said wasn't very different. Why does Moses feel the need to reverse the word ordering here? His statement puts the action of building for the children, for the families, first. Rabbi Arnold Stiebel explains that the word order reveals a reprimand against placing a higher value on wealth, on their cattle and their livestock, than on their families. Moses wants the Israelites to prioritize families above flocks. And this is the message we are left with. Now, applying the message to our world today, we have to evaluate our own priorities. Okay, so bring it back to my moment of pause. Does it mean that I should stay at home with my kids and give up working? No, don't worry, Jeff, no. Does it mean then that to be a working parent is the ultimate ideal? No. No, again, the portion isn't commenting on the end result. Rather, it's discussing the process of prioritizing. It is instructing us that we should value people more than we value things. Seems like a basic enough idea, yet it remains a difficult concept for many in our world today and goes far beyond parenting. Rabbinic commentators taught that when a person desires money and is chasing after it often, you cannot rely upon him and his commitments. The commentary continues by explaining that only after reversing the word order when they began to worry about their families before their possessions, could these tribes be trusted by Moses? Here we see the idea taken a step farther. We're no longer simply speaking about how we prioritize our own values, but now our Torah portion teaches us that we may better understand others by watching and evaluating their priorities. Are they a person who puts themselves or others first? Are they blinded by power, or do they see those who need their help? Do they evoke images of someone who is hungry for money or someone who is hungry for communal progress? Our Torah and rabbinic commentators are clearly teaching that the person we should trust and value is the latter, the one who values their children, who offers others help, and who builds community. Now, does that mean that personal ambition and wealth are bad things? Absolutely not. Do not walk away thinking I said that tonight. They're only bad if they're prioritized above people. So while I, of course, enjoy nice things and comfort that the financial growth can bring, I'm determined to walk through life considering how my actions will affect others. I choose when to work, how to interact, who to vote for by considering the needs of people around me and imagining the future I want for my children. While there are many ways to prioritize one's life, this week's Torah portion offers us one lovely example. It teaches us to lead with the needs of people before the needs of our pocketbooks. In listening to its advice, I know, at least I hope, that when my son grows up, he will be able to be proud of the choices we made and the reasons we made them. He will know we always prioritize people over things, and knowing that makes my heart whole once again. Shabbat Shalom.